Alright guys, welcome. Today we're going to take a look at the latest Ego string trimmers. I've been using my current one now for about 6 years, so it's time for an upgrade. I've actually worn down the bottom of the shaft from the bump feeding. So this latest model today that I'm going to review has this Line IQ technology that is supposed to reduce that greatly. So most traditional string trimmers use what's called bump feed, where you just kind of bump the string head against the grass or something like that, and it'll let out more string for you to continue trimming as that string kind of wears down. But as you can see over the years, I've been pretty rough on the string head here, and I've completely worn it down. So that's why I'm replacing my string trimmer, because otherwise after 6 years it's still working quite well, but I can't feed string onto it anymore. But in hindsight, I probably should have been a little bit more gentle when weed whacking around my very abrasive paver stones. So the string trimmer I'm replacing after about 6 years is the ST1623T. So if you have something similar and you're wondering if it's worth the upgrade, that's what I'm hoping my review here today will be able to answer for you. So here it is, my old one on top of the new box. So you can see I've not really taken particularly good care of it, just kind of used it. And you know, after cutting the grass, I don't really have the patience to clean it off. So even with the lack of care, it's not had any issues over the years. So I'm hoping that the reliability of this new ST1623T model has similar success for me. So let's get into what's new on this new Ego 1623 string trimmer. So first off, they've increased the diameter of the cutting area by 16 inches, which should help you trim more of your lawn in less time. And then the big update is this Line IQ technology, which is supposed to eliminate the need for bump feeding to feed more line as you file it down as you're edging. And I'm hoping this PowerLoad technology eliminates my least favorite chore when string trimming, which is running out of line when I have like 10 minutes left of my lawn care session here and I'm dying and humid and I don't want to be fumbling with finicky holes and winding of my existing string trimmer. So now let's unbox the Ego 1623 and see what's inside. Okay, so it looks like we have our pre-cut string as advertised with some manuals. Looking inside here, I can see our carbon fiber shaft. All right, looks like I get another charger. This is the Power Plus charger, model CH3200. So it's different than the one that came with the lawnmower, which is a bigger battery. So it seems to be a similar design as like my second gen charger. And over here is the battery pack. So this is a 56 volt lithium ion 4 amp hour battery, model BA2242T. Now I've been pretty used to the Ego batteries over the years, and they actually don't drop off on capacity that bad at all compared to some old power tools that you might have been used to. So again, if you're not used to Ego or like kind of newer generation power tool batteries, you don't have to worry about the same kind of battery memory problems or things like that that you might have experienced in the past. They've lasted for years in my experience, and I'm not, you know, keeping them in most ideal temperatures in the garage either. So I mean, for reference, I'm still using the 2.5 amp hour battery for a lot of my string trimming needs, and it gets the yard done. I don't have a, you know, a palace here, but for the amount of edging that I do and string trimming that I do, it gets the job done quite well even after all these years. And again, the new one is 4 amp hours, so I should be getting a little bit less than double the amp hour capacity out of that. So again, let's dig in some more into the box, see what else we have. Hard to do this one-handed. My assistant's busy playing Minecraft. And this nameplate just reminded me that one of the nice upgrades that Ego's done on most of their line is added brushless motors. So over my existing string trimmer, this should be even more efficient. All right, so let me go ahead and set down the camera so I can have 2 hands free to do this hinge joint. So this just comes together, I think. And there's probably a set screw I need to go find in the box now. All right, looks like we have our set screw and Allen key in there in the manual bag with the line. So we're just going to install that set screw and then install the guard so we don't get hit in the eyeball, ask me how I know, with rock chips, and then give it a shot. All right, so on the side of the joint that has the inset for the screw, you're going to put the screw in, do a little pre-threading there, and then use the Allen key that they give you to tighten it up. All right, so that's nice and tight. And now the plastic guard already has bolts pre-threaded. All right, that's all set. So now you can kind of see the new and old stacking up next to each other. I just need to install the handle, but before I do that I need to set the height. And one of the nice things that they added with this one, I guess if you're sharing this between maybe you and your sons or something like that, and you're of different height, they have a quick release height adjustment handle here, which I guess you just open like that and adjust to the desired height or length that you want. So I'm about 6'4". I probably need that way open. So this seems to be the max adjustment there. Curious if that's about the same height as it was before. If I move this up, new compared to old, they're both straight shaft trimmers. It looks like maybe it's a touch shorter than the old one, maybe by an inch, maybe less. But now that I have the height, I can adjust the handle, which I think I throw over here. So I'll probably position it about the same location as the old one. So I just need to unthread this wing nut and then attach it around the bar where I want and then retighten everything. Now that I have the handle about where I want, I'm gonna put this little clamping piece that may have fallen out while you were doing that, so don't lose that when you're installing yours. And so the wing nut goes back on the top side here with these like 3 little grooves in case you dropped in and didn't pay attention which side it fell out of, because this green handle needs to kind of fit in here awkwardly. So it should thread through the grooves in that little U-bar, or that U-clamp, and then we can tighten everything up. Alright, once you have your wing nut tightly threaded on there, you should be able to do a final clamp with that green lever. Now the handle should be set in place. Alright, so at this point we should have everything installed on the Ego ST1623T. So now we just need to attach the battery and give it a test. So I'm going to plug the included 4 amp hour battery into one of my existing chargers, and while that's charging up so I don't waste time, I'm going to take my existing 5 amp hour battery here and plug that in. Because as you can see, it comes with just a partial charge for shipping. So at the end of the video I'll try and do an update and see how long it took to actually charge this from 1 bar to full. So I'll let the 4 amp hour Ego battery charge here while I do the rest of the demo, and at the end I'll give an update to see how long it took for this battery to fully charge. Alright, so another one of the updates is that you need to flip down on this safety switch before you engage the on lever. So I have that engaged. Now let's go ahead and give this a first shot to see how it powers up. Okay, so that worked pretty good. Let's try some edging. Alright, so just taking things back inside. I haven't really cut anything too abrasive yet, just mainly stayed on the grass and a little bit up against the stone edging, but the line feed seems to be working pretty well, keeping the strings trimmed to the appropriate length. I'm not running out of string yet. I'm going to try now something that usually tears up my line a little bit more, which is going against the concrete pool deck edging. So this here tends to be the problem area, trying to get this grass beaten back from the edge of the concrete patio deck here. It tends to file the line down pretty good. So we'll see how the Line IQ technology on the Ego string trimmer lasts against this. So I got to apologize, as epic and cinematic as that edging shot was, my phone overheated and I lost all that footage. So here's the after effect, and what I can talk you through is that I felt that the cutting was actually like super weak, like half speed relative to my old string trimmer, but then I found there's a speed setting and it was on half speed, so that explains some of it. So let me show you that so you're not frustrated like I was. So on the bottom, when you have the trigger safety half engaged, you can push the speed button and it'll have 1 or 2 bars, and if it's on 2, it's on full speed, which I found replicated the kind of cutting power of the original string trimmer that I'm replacing from Ego with this newer model. But fortunately I do have some more wall to edge here, so I can show you what that looks like. on softer things, the Line IQ seems to be keeping up, but it was a little bit disappointing against this wall here. It was filing down kind of faster, so I wasn't quite getting the cutting diameter that I was hoping for, but the higher speed seemed to help with that a little bit, but it seemed maybe a little bit less powerful, but as you can see, it did get the job done against this patio foundation. Once I went to the higher speed, it definitely does a really good job against soft targets, like against wood border walls like this one. These stone pathways tend to chew up the line the most, so let's see how that goes. Feels very strong. You know, so the Line IQ is definitely keeping the string trimmer's line advanced, probably better than bumping wood. Definitely saves time and frustration in that regard. I'd say that it keeps up better when whacking against softer targets like the planter boxes or my disintegrating wood edging border on the playground here. It definitely struggled a little bit going against the concrete patio, but also I was probably a little bit too close. The manual says that you should just keep just about the tip resting against the cutting surface here, but I was being a little bit more aggressive on purpose just to see what worst case scenario would look like there. And with all the string trimming that I just did, let's check the battery. Still has full power bars. This is the 5 amp hour, so the one that it comes with is the 4 amp hour, but as you can see, it doesn't use too much. You know, historically I found that the blower uses more battery power than any of the other tools, maybe followed by the hedge trimmer, but now that it has a brushless motor, it's probably even more efficient. Back here at the charger, it's been about 45 minutes or so charging the battery that it shipped with, the 4 amp hour, and it's on its last bar here. So in about, you know, I guess about an hour, you can go from 1 bar, probably a little bit less than an hour, to fully charge your battery on the 4 amp hour from dead. Also, interestingly enough, I weighed both, and even though we have a different kind of carbon fiber shaft here on this model versus the aluminum or whatever kind of metal that we came from on my ST1500 SF, the ST1623T weighs exactly the same or close enough where my scale can't tell the difference. So at the end of the day, there's some nice upgrades in the Ego 1620T. The Line IQ is nice. I haven't tried the power feed technology. I'll do an update video on that when I run out of string and need to reload. The brushless motor is definitely nice to have and should allow you to do more cutting with less battery. The height adjustment lever is definitely a nice way to be able to share this trimmer amongst different heighted individuals in your family if you share lawn maintenance tasks. So that was a nice add. And the Line IQ so far is working pretty good. No need to bump trim, so that's really a nice feature. If you are debating whether or not it's worth upgrading your existing Ego string trimmer to the Ego 1620T, I wouldn't spend the money on it. I would wait for it to wear out like I did. It's not enough of a difference for me anyway, so you know, you could do some accelerated wear on yours, you know, bang it into something, throw it in the canal if you need to convince your spouse to gift that to you for Father's Day or something like that. But I wouldn't spend the money necessarily to upgrade just to get this year's latest model. All right, so thanks for sticking in there with me on this very hot day while I did this review. I hope you found it useful, and if you did, let me know by clicking on the like button down below. And while you're down there, consider subscribing to be notified of any future video reviews. Thanks for watching.